Welcome to the fourth tutorial of this series. Today I'll be showing you a simple demonstration of the Owl slider. This demonstration will help us in the front-end series as well as the back-end series for this course. So I'm going to create a new file. Then I'm just going to select a frame here from our frame. Then I'm going to select the desktop frame. Let's select the desktop. Just the desktop, that is 1440 by 1124. Okay, then first of all I want to introduce you to a plugin. I'm just going to go to the file there and select plugins. Then now I'm just going to select find more plugins. Alright, so I'm going to search for pixels or Splash, whatever you want, but I prefer to work with pixels. So I'm just going to click on run. Not now. Alright, so let's go back. I believe it's running because my system is unresponsive right now. Okay, so now at this point we can just can say insert random image. I'm just going to set a landscape image. Alright, you can actually search an image if you want. Let's search for cities. Alright, and I'm just going to search. Okay, this is awesome, and I'm just going to select this one and insert. Okay, so if you notice it's been inserted on our frame. Let me just reduce this a bit so we can see what we're doing. Alright, okay, this is better. Okay, at this point now I'm going to set the background to dark. That's the fill. Come over here and set it to dark or to black. Alright, then I'm going to reduce the opacity of the image. So now once I take the image, you can see the background, and Ctrl Z. Okay, now I'm going to reduce the opacity of the image. You can see the image is 100%, so I'm just going to reduce it just to fade in the image into the background a bit. So I'm just going to set it to, let's say, 50. Let's say it's going to be alright. So this 50 is nice, but we can still do better. Let's say 40, and I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to rename my frame. I'm going to just double click on this. Okay, I guess it's not responsive at this moment. I don't know what's wrong with my PC today, so I'm just going to right click and rename. Alright, I'm going to call it slider 1. Okay, then I'm going to grab my text tool from here, and I'm just going to click, let's say I love uiux. Okay, so I'm going to toggle on the scale tool. This is going to help me to rescale my text without having to manually type in a figure there. It's a waste of time. Alright, so I'm just going to probably do this way. Not probably, actually I'm just going to do it this way. Okay, make sure it's aligned to the center. Then if you want, actually let's use uppercase. I love uiux. Okay, or instead let's say creativity at its peak. Okay, so this is just for us to have a content. Alright, I'm going to drop my tool, come back and convert to scale. Okay, so I'm just going to hold down my Alt key on my keyboard. This is for me to resize uniformly. Alright, so make sure it's center aligned, and let's give it some property. Okay, let's get back to the text tool. Okay, now I don't want to use Inter. Let's use Montserrat. Okay, so if it's coming from online, you can search any font you want and get them. Montserrat, yeah, this is it, Montserrat. So I love the font so much. Alright, I'm going to use semi-bold. Oh, okay, it's saying the following fonts are not available. Choose replacement font in order to edit text. Okay, I can't edit this text because of the missing font. Alright, so I'm just going to select another font. Let's say Montserrat alternative. Let's see, and replace the font. Okay, So let's see if I can edit the text. Before that, let me just reduce the size a bit. Creativity at its peak. Okay, and let's see if we can edit. All right, we can edit this. Then I want to select the peak. Okay, so I'm going to change the color to, let's see, something abstract or something cool. Okay, yellow will do just fine. Okay, this is nice. Then let's just place it like this, or we can place it by this side. Okay, then let's just get another test. Let's get to the background. First of all, let's go to the slider itself. Then let's change the color of the, actually let's reduce the opacity of the image. Let's say 20%. So now let's just look for another dummy text and type. I'm just going to pick my text tool again, then I'm just going to type here. Let's say learning together. All right, so now let's select this. Actually, let's use the same font family. Then let's make sure we're using regular. Okay, let me select everything again and come here. That's Ctrl A to select everything. Then let's make sure we are selecting regular. All right, then let's reduce the font size. So I'm just going to move to the scale and like this. All right, so actually I don't like this font, so we're going to look for another font just to make things look better. I'm going to click on the text tool to activate the text formatting section. All right, I'm going to change this font family to, let's see if we have something better. Let's just pick Red Rose. Let's see what that's. Okay, this is not a good font because some of my text are missing. Let's select another one. Probably you can see. Okay, let me edit my text. Learning together. All right, so this is it, learning together. So this is just for the first part of it. Now what I want to do next is to create a cycle. So I'm just going to get my ellipse tool and just create a cycle like this. I'll hold down my shift, create a small cycle like this. All right, so using my move tool, I'll just bring it downwards a bit like this. Okay, let's see. Actually, let's reduce it a bit. So I'm going to hold down my Alt to reduce it a bit, or instead hold down my Shift to reduce it a bit, so it will reduce uniformly. So at this point, let's zoom in to see what we're doing better. Then I'm going to duplicate this, so Ctrl D, and I'm going to move this way. All right, so now let's fit to screen. Okay, now this is it. Now I'm going to take out the fill of the other one and just leave a stroke. So a stroke of white color. All right, then I'm just going to give a stroke width of 2 and enter. Now I'm going to group these together, Ctrl+G, and call it let's say O. Yeah, okay, so I'll make sure I center this properly like this. This is perfect. Okay, so now what I need to do now is to duplicate this slider. Let's have another slider, Ctrl+D. All right, so we already have 2 now. Okay, so what I want to do is very simple. I just want to edit this a bit. Okay, I'm going to delete it, get back again. Sorry about that, guys. Click on pixels, then search cities again. Cities, search. All right, so now let's pick this. Okay, I love this part, this one. Then insert the image. All right, so that's it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just drag this inside here, just like this. I'm going to hold down my shift to just resize uniformly. You can hold down your Alt tool if you want. You can see it's resizing uniformly. All right, so if you notice the first image wasn't inserted, that's because there was already an image there. and it's so intelligent of Figma to notice that okay, there's an image there, there's no need to insert another one unless we take out the image. All right, so now this is what I want to do. I want to bring down this image to the bottom, to the last. All right, that's so it will serve as my background. So I'm just going to click and drag and leave it here. All right, then what I'm going to do, you can see we have two images here, and I don't need them. I'm going to take out one. Okay, click on this and use the first one. We use an opacity of, let me check, use an opacity of 20%. all right, so I'm going to set this opacity to 20% still, like this. What's going on? All right, okay, this is it. Make sure to click on the slider, the particular slider you'll be working with. All right, so I'm going to click on the slider, click on the image, and make sure I set this to 20%. all right, this is beautiful. Okay, so this is nice, this is nice. All right, so let me just zoom in so we can see better. Next, I will just change this carousel button. Okay, so I'm just going to change the fill color. In fact, I'm going to remove the fill color, I don't need it, and I'm going to instead use the stroke color and change this to 2, the width of 2, and I'm going to change the color to white like we did with the second carousel button. All right, I'm going to change this one. I'm going to take away the stroke like this and click on the plus to activate the fill, then make sure this is white. Nice. All right, so this is awesome. So let's just tweak the text a bit. Okay, let's say transforming the world, transforming the world. Don't mind this font. I don't know what's wrong with Figma, forcing me to use Montserrat alternate, saying Montserrat is missing. I don't know why. All right, so let's change this to something else. Do better with us. Just some gibberish. All right, so this is nice. So now at this point we have our 2 slider, so ready for prototyping. Okay, I'm just going to click on the slider, the first slider, and before then, let's see, before we go to the prototype, I'm going to zoom this a bit. All right, so I'm going to convert this to frame selections. I'm going to convert this to frame selections so I can be able to work with these buttons. So I'm just going to right click on the first one, right click, and you'll see frame selection. Same thing with the second one. I'm going to right click and say frame selection too. All right, I'll do the same thing with this. I'm going to click on the first button, that's the first ellipse or the first O button, right click and say frame selection. I'm going to do that with the second too, right click and say frame selection. All right, so now I'm going to start prototyping this. Just a basic interaction. When we click on this, it should take us to this. When we click on this, and vice versa. In fact, I want to zoom in into this first of all, like this. All right, so now let's head over to the prototype section. All right, so I'm just going to click on this button like this. I'm going to select the first button. Make sure you're in slider 1 because we want to start with that. I'm going to select the first button, which is this. Actually, it's the second button we need to create an interaction for. So I'm going to click on the second button. So when I click on it, it takes me to the next page. All right, so I'm just going to click on interaction. All right, then I'm going to click on this, the click interaction here. Then make sure it's on click, not on drag while over. Make sure it's on click. Then select navigate to, like this. All right, then navigate to where? I want it to navigate to the slider. You can see once I select the slider, it moves to slider 2. That is slider 2. All right, then I also want a smart animate like this. Then you can set the animation style to ease in and out like this, and you can even set the timer if you want, but that's okay. All right, so this is how it is. If you notice, when I zoom to fit, if you notice, you can see this, this arrow pointing to the next slider. So meaning that once I click on this button, this O button or this carousel button, once I click to it, it navigates to this. Now let's do the same thing with the slider too now. So let's zoom in so we can see better. All right, so I'm going to click on the first button, okay, or the first ellipse, and now you want to call it. Then make sure I click on these interactions. Then what kind of interaction do I want? So I'm just going to click on this. So I want an on-click interaction, and I want it to navigate to where? Navigate to slider 1. So you can see it's selected now once I place my mouse where it's to slider 1. All right, then I want to make sure I select smart animate as the animation type. Then animation style, let's say ease in and out. All right, so this is fine. Let's test what we have here. So I'm just going to zoom to fit. All right, so let's see what we have here. So now let's play this prototype. I'm going to select slider 1, so it starts from slider 1. All right, I'm going to present. Nice, but I can't see anything. So let's zoom this to fit. Let's see. I wonder why the controls is not working at this point. All right, so let's just zoom this fit to screen. Okay, nice. Now let's test it out. So when I click on this button, wow, it moves to this. When I click on this, it moves. Wow, this is interesting. This is so beautiful. So I can play with it all day. So nice. So when I click on this, the first one, it gets to the next page. That's the slider 1. When I click on slider 2, and it works that way perfectly. Alright, so this is the simplest demonstration I could think of at the point of recording this tutorial. So the main aim of this tutorial was to expose us to the Owl Carousel, or the Owl Slider, whatever you may call it. And this demonstration was targeted towards that, and I believe after watching this tutorial you should have gotten an overview of what the Owl Slider is, or what the Owl Carousel is. This is how it looks like. So in subsequent series, in our front-end series, we'll be coding this, writing codes that actually perform this kind of interaction. Alright, so guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have learned something. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones. Then don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you all. Bye.